Back in Missouri, Democrats and Republicans are both trying to win spots in the state legislature. Color 10's Madison Heaver sat down with a local political science professor to talk strategy for both parties.
Dr. Dan Ponder is a political science professor at Drury University.
We have been trending more and more deeply red over the last several election cycles. So that's kind of an open question right now about how much people will be moved by what happens in the economy.
Ponder says Republicans are in the lead right now, which means Democrats have to play catch-up. So what do Democrats have to do to win more seats in Missouri?
If they can, even pull those out, minimize the amount, kind of close the gap by which they lose here, and at the same time turn out that increased turnout, then I think somebody like a Nicole Galloway would have a chance to win. Having said that, we are a Republican state.
And what do Republicans have to do to keep their lead?
They have to make sure, I think, that things don't blow up in their face. The Republicans could lose the supermajority. But even that's a big if. I think their bigger issue is going to be the economy. It's not rocket science, but a good economy tends to benefit the incumbent party, the incumbent president. However, if things turn sour, that becomes much more difficult. If stuff like that starts to happen, what do Republicans do? Do they hug the president tighter, or do they distance themselves?
But the focus for both parties won't just be in St. Louis or Kansas City. It'll also be right here in Greene County.
And really, Greene County increasingly has been becoming a really important part of Missouri electoral politics strategy, because what a Democrat can do is try to minimize the amount by which he or she will lose here.
But Ponder says both parties have one thing in common: the goal to mobilize voters and increase turnout. Madison Heaver, Ozarks First.